Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about joining together again. This is so good, and It's just like you can't say no to it. You come into this flow. You have the recognition with each other. The light is there. It's like we just have to shut up for a moment, and suddenly, woof! There, you feel the presence. So that is incredible. So there are not many places where you come to where that immediately is, but this is one of them definitely. This is our little healing center, and this is our little healing place where we come together just to join in light and maybe listen to some words or maybe get some ideas straightened out or whatever happens. But one thing for sure, there's a natural joining going on of mm, ones that choose not to live as a human being, but who are just not able to live like a human being anymore because it's just gone the way how to do that. Like you didn't want to try it again because you don't really know how to do that anymore. That's so good. I love it. So today I'm following my co-master Zdenka, and that is the idea of protection. So in these essential chapters of Joel, um, you see in the second, at least for in the Spanish version, in the second chapter, you see the idea of protection, and I'm going to read some of that from the say abbreviated version from that was put together by Saint Mazer, and she put all the pearls, took all the pearls and put them in one little basket, in metaphorical way speaking. And so I'm also bringing in today some Course in Miracles, because there's a nice lesson that is like written all over me when I hear the word defense or protection or all of that. And I will not tell you everything right now, but I'll leave you in an expectancy of what will come. But so I'm suggesting to you just to sit back and relax and listen to what's been said with all of your being, and looking for the total edges of what's being said. Like, how is it possible to hear more of what's being said? Can I enter deeper into my experience of love right now? And are there things that I can hear if I really open up for it? Because there's always more to discover, and there's always a deeper understanding possible of what is being said. So it is the same as when I say, like, try to hear this as if you hear this for the first time, because this is your first time that you can possibly hear it. Yeah, there wasn't another moment, there wasn't another time, because the past that you thought was there is just already gone. Like, you cannot take anything back from that. It's over. And so your only reference is this moment. In this moment, all you can do is be completely open to what is given, just like with anyone that you meet or in any situation that you are in. You can decide to be completely open to receive what's been given and not have any defenses against what's being said, but just try to discover something that you never discovered before. And because it is in every situation, and it is in everything that's being said. It's in every person that you meet. Like, there's always something that he's going to tell you, because the person that you're meeting is actually the Christ like in a discovered, like as if he's dressed up in a different shape, but he still is the Christ. So to really make contact with him is what your healing will be, not his healing. So that's such a good thing to remember. So to listen to someone, for instance, talking when you meet some person in the street is already quite uh, an exercise. You know, to if you listen with your whole being or heart, this person is going to be joined in your healing. He's going to be like you literally heal by listening really well what's being said. And not that the words matter, but your connection to the person or the situation matters. Because you're not separating yourself from it, but you are allowing to have a new discovery. And so it is with the words that I say, or the circumstances that you find yourself in, or all of that, that has, or even the body that you're taking with you. All of that has information, has information for you to discover, and it will tell you something that you didn't know before, but it will speak to you in terms of perfection, and it will say revert to you to your own perfection as Christ mind. So this being said, now I have to make a little step to what Joel is saying, and I'm going to read it to you. From the essential chapters, protection, and this is from the 9055 Infinite Way letters. And Joel is very bright in his expression here. Listen to this. This is just the first paragraph that's been put in the book. In the material sense of life, the word protection brings up the thought of defense or armor, a hiding place from an enemy, or some sense of withdrawal from danger. In the mental sciences, protection refers to some thought or idea, or some form of prayer that would save one from injury or hurt from an outside source. In the use of the word protection, thought is immediately drawn to the fact that existing somewhere is a destructive or harmful activity or presence or power, and that protection by word of thought is a means of finding security from this danger to one's self or one's affairs. Okay, but here he says, well, in the infinite way, we have learned that God is one. Therefore, God is one power, and we live in that conscious oneness. The moment the idea of God as one begins to dawn in consciousness, we understand that in all this world there is no power and no presence from which we need protection. You will see this as you dwell on the word omnipresence and realize that in this all-presence of good, you are completely alone with a divine harmony, a harmony which pervades and permeates consciousness and is in itself the allness and onlyness of good. So, and then he says that under that, like, ponder this idea and meditate upon it, and that will be a very good idea. Like the wholeness, when you are whole, there is no other thing, like there's nothing besides wholeness. There's no other thing that can hurt you or that can attack you. So that makes it like a silly idea in a certain sense, but tell that to a human being, because attack and protection are like very important things to the ego and to the, say, turn on your television and you see all kinds of things, all kinds of situations where people think they need to protect themselves, and they seem to have every right to do so, like because there's really a danger that you have to protect yourself against. But falling into this stillness inside your mind and falling deeply inside the quiet, there, like all these dangers just dissolving or evaporating, if you will, and suddenly you stand in your home experience just feeling the love, feeling that you extend the love, that is all you. And yeah, the whole idea of protection or attack seems to be like a crazy idea. And of course that is what it is. But it goes step by step for most of us, like to undo this idea that there is something outside of you that can attack you. If you see in your personal communication with others where you start to attack or respond or react to what they say, like, are you serious, is that true? You doubt what people say, well, that is a defense too. So it is much closer to you than it's not just about bombs and tanks and whatever warfare that is attacking you. No, this is on a very personal level that you can encounter it. So then the invitation is then to forgive in that sense, and to see what is actually occurring, and there is nothing that can attack you. So that if you experience someone attacking you, that will always be referred to yourself in terms of, why did I call this to myself? Like, you will have to ask that question. You will have to take a look at that. I'm attacking myself. Why am I doing that? What do I get out of that? And so that's also part of the protection or defense or defensiveness that you are experiencing on a daily basis. Everyone will have that. Like, suddenly you're upset about something that some person told you, and that can be really like causing some anger in you. And but as soon as that happens, it's a good idea to stand still and say, like, hey, what's going on here? Do I need protection? You can even ask the question, like, do I need protection? Is there a danger, really? Am I being attacked? Maybe I should let that idea go. And that was the same as what I said in the beginning. Like, when you are in interpersonal communication with so-called others, if you really listen well to what the person is saying and being completely compassionate to whoever is in front of you, you have the opportunity to hear something completely new instead of your, what I said before, like the backpack of standard ideas or standard reactions to situations or persons. So here we think a little deeper into that idea. It's like the defensiveness in personal relationships. The ideas that you hold about so-called others, all these things, as soon as you think that there's a source outside of you, like, peace of mind for you is impossible, because there is something you can protect yourself, but it still will be there. So the defense mechanism is not even working either. The danger is still out there if you think that is real. So your protection system is protecting for a moment, but it can always hurt you. So you will never have peace of mind when you are, say, practicing this. When you are practicing attack and defense. So as soon as you, raise yourself above this battleground and take a look at what's occurring, then there's nothing to defend yourself against. There's nothing left, because everything is being included. So there's nothing outside of you. There's no danger outside of you. It was just an idea that something could hurt you. So that was what I meant with the idea of forgiveness. So you let it go, and you see it literally for what it is. So now, I will read a little bit from the Course in Miracles, just because it is so to the point, so to speak, and it's a bit from a different perspective, but it's still the same idea. Okay, a little bit about this world. The world gives rise but to defensiveness. For threat brings anger, and anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are we the weak, still further undermined, for there is a treachery without and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it, and another one in that, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack become the circles of the hour, and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of the imprisonment upon the mind. So the first thing that comes to mind to me is like the tension that you can literally feel when you meet people or like human beings, is that even when you give them a hand, that they are like so tight, they give you a hand so tight that you have like, oh, take it easy, you know, it's like, oh, it's just a greeting, it's not like who's the strongest or something. So that is like, as a human being, you walk around with so much tension because you're in this mode, attack defense mode. You will have to respond. You will have to save your position. You have to do this and do that. So it's like the mind is working like overtime, all the time. It's exhausting itself with all the ideas of possibilities that can come to attack you, like in all this danger that you ever put together in what you call your life. So no wonder that you're stressed out, or no wonder that you get depressed, or that you're so tied up literally in the world and its in all its dangers. So that is a very interesting thing. So see it for yourself. How is that going with me? Am I this tense person? I'm being afraid for every like attack around the corner in my communication with others or in my daily life. Am I in a defense attack mode? Then I really have to stand still and take a good look at what's actually going on, because it is not my reality. It is just literally imaginings that you think that you have to protect yourself. So that's why I always like quiet comes in, and always meditation is good, because it all slows it down. It takes you out of your daily context, just in a new sphere, literally, where you can rest a moment and breathe and just like collapse into yourself for a second to recover literally from the exhaustion of what you call human life. So imagine that you have to protect yourself all the time. That would be so exhausting. And lucky are those who found a different way, that you can deeply relax no matter what situation you're in, because you always have literally your protection with you. Like, it's not a protection because there's no danger, but it's more like No, you protect yourself from the temptation to slide off into human thinking and participating in an attack defense mechanism. You don't want to make that your own anymore. You really want to let that go all the time. And of course, the first thing that you encounter when you are tempted in this defense attack mechanism is that you feel tight. You literally, your body is tensing up, and you feel not right. You feel like, oh my God, what did I do? That was not my idea of happiness. And so there's always, you can immediately respond to that by just saying, oh, I'm sorry, or I say to yourself, like, I forgive and let this go. I don't need to be right here. So you see, everything is so connected. Like the way that you can think about danger or protection or defense, you can see that as so far away outside yourself, or Trump and the Korean president, and yeah, they do this and that, and yeah, whatever. No, this is just a reflection in your mind. You bring it back to yourself. No, in your communication with others, this can be alive in your mind, that you attack and defend, not even noticing that it is so. So it's good to stand still and see for yourself, like, where have I been attacking myself or defending myself in the communication with others? And just to become aware of it, where you're actually doing that. Okay, so I'll read a little bit more from the Course in Miracles. Okay, here you go. So now we're stepping over to, we had the world as a description in a certain sense, like the world gives rise but to defensiveness. But here we go to the idea of defenselessness, which is like not the opposite, but more, this is coming from Christ's mind. This is your, this is the peace from within. So listen to this. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the text maintains that choice is always made between Christ's strength and your weakness, and your own weakness, seen apart from Him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great. Attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. So defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes literally strength so great. Attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. So this is great. I like the association with that. It's like, yeah, it's like a child too tired to play another game. It's just starting to react and say, no, I don't want, and blah blah blah, putting his putting his feet in the ground and just not working with you. So this defenselessness, sorry, is what I just said. It's like, it's a great power. It's an emanating power, emanating from you when you are in an experience of the allness or oneness. Then attack. There is nothing to attack. So that becomes so silly if you see people do it, because it is like there's no reason for it. There's no one to attack. Very simply said. But so good to remember that. Like, there's literally nothing to attack outside of you. There is nothing outside of your consciousness. I just love it. So this was from the lesson 153, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. So now take Joel here again with the essential chapter. And see here is being said like, we learned God is one. Therefore, God is one power, and we live in that oneness, that conscious oneness. And that is the same as what's said in the course too. It is like the experience of allness is your direct communication with God. It is your safety. It is your true comfort zone, which is a very active one and a very alive one. But it's almost like it's like sunlight, and sunlight melting all the eyes of coldness, of attack and defense and all that. That's like when you bring that in, everything dissolves into that. So I had this afternoon, I had an encounter with a cherry farmer. He had some cherry trees, and I wanted to get some cherries. And first, he was looking at me like that, like, who are you? Where are you from? I said, well, you never know who's standing right in front of you. And then suddenly he started to laugh. But what happened was that he immediately responded with the idea of like, well, you look so familiar to me. You look like my son-in-law, but you're almost the same as him. It was just confusing to see you like that. And this is like happening to me a lot. Like, people recognize you just because you're open and receptive, and you don't bring in any fear, but just love. So people can recognize that, and here you have like the encounter that you would hope for, like just a lovely encounter where there's no obstruction and nothing in the way of a recognition. So that was like, say, attack-free. That was a very gentle and loving encounter. And the cherries were very nice indeed. Yes, he showed me all these trees in the garden. It's like, oh, this is from Italy, this one is from Germany, this and blah, blah, blah. And we could try them all. It was really lovely. So it's like then when so it didn't take any time. But it is like, suddenly there's an abundance, literally, even in matter. Like, I could eat all the cherries I wanted. He said, oh, you should try this one too, and this is so lovely too, and this and that. And we could even feed a little lamb with milk and all that. So it was a big happening suddenly. And you just don't know. But in your defensiveness lies your safety, and that is true in your inner world as well as in your outer world, if you allow this to be one, and not be afraid to stand for that, to express this safety just by feeling it and experiencing it. So this is always great stuff. Like, I just love how this works, and I'm just totally surprised by it all the time. Like, oh, and that's truly another gift. I'm very grateful for, because it is like yes, my mind has changed. Yes, I'm speaking from the certainty of the change of my mind. How lovely is that idea? You know, how lovely is that idea? And what would stop you to express that? Like, nothing, no. I love to express that and see what comes and see what happens. So I'm so happy that I can share this with you, just because sitting here just with me and listening to that, and and you probably recognize this too, because it is in that sense not so difficult. It is very simple, and if I if I can, it is natural. If I can get it, you can get it. It's like it's such a natural thing to occur to you. Yeah, it's just, see, the important thing that we just heard was also like, if you think that there is something outside your consciousness, you will be in an attack defense mode, because there's still danger lurking outside. So you will never get peace of mind. And so if you bring that all back to the place where it belongs, and that is like taking all this what you put out there and bring it back like right here, then it can change, and you can, yeah, you can let it change finally. Otherwise, if it's out there and it's just lurking there, you will not be able to change it. So in other words, you take full responsibility of everything that you see and everything that's around you and everything that you think too. You take responsibility for that, and suddenly that collapses into yourself and comes out as an whole new way, where you are aware of the fact that there is nothing outside your consciousness. So there's no need to attack, but there's also like this possibility of expressing yourself through the certainty of your Christ mind. You can completely trust that that is what your Christ mind is. Like, it's expressing certainty, it's expressing peace, just because there is nothing to protect. The only thing that you have to do to maintain it, in a certain sense, is keep recognizing it. That is one thing, but also to say, be vigilant against temptation to play a human game, like this little child, too sleepy to play a regular normal game, but becoming a little agitated because it's just too sleepy. Like a human being is just too sleepy. It is exhausted about what it has been doing, and it's tied up. So it will have to do this just in order to survive. Because when it would give it up, the whole world would collapse into this human mind. And it's trying to work against that. That would never happen. I'm not giving up my life, or this or that. So this is our healing class, and this is the healing that can take place in us. In your personal communication with the ones that you meet, you have an opportunity to hear or discover something that you've never seen before. And if you allow that to happen to you, it is healing everyone. Like when you compassionately listen to someone and try to discover the gift for you, this person is going to be healed by you, because you enclose him in your mind, in your Christ mind, in your heart, if you want to say it like that. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to become happy, to express who you really are, and to connect without any guards or any protection shields or any attack modes, but just in complete, innocent, open attitude, and coming from within. I'm curious what Joe is going to write in the next couple of sections. Okay, Joel says, the Master has told us there is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are that defile the man. Our studies and meditations have revealed that whatever of discord or inharmony is manifest in our experience today is coming from the activity of our own thought. We have accepted the universal belief of a power, a presence, and an activity apart from God. We have accepted the belief that someone or something outside our own being can be a presence or a power for evil in our experience. And the acceptance of this rather universal belief causes much of our discord and inharmony. And here you go, as we consciously bring ourselves back day after day, day after day, day after day, to the actual awareness of God as infinite being, God manifesting and expressing itself as our individual being, that means as you, like we understand more fully that all power flows out from us, through us as a benediction and blessing to the world, but that no power acts upon us from without our own being. And this is exactly what I meant. See, this is exactly what's also being said in the Course in Miracles. Like, no, there is nothing outside yourself that can hurt you or can attack. And so it's coming from your own thoughts. That's where the solution will be. Like, you will have to take a look at what on earth am I thinking? What is it that I'm doing in my mind? Do I think that I'm not attacking a person if I still think about him in a nasty way? Of course I'm attacking him. Can he feel that? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So like you cannot hide yourself. Like your thoughts are everywhere instantaneously as you think them. So to train your mind in a different way with becoming aware that there's nothing outside of you that you can attack is then a very, that's a very helpful thing to do. You have to train yourself in doing that, because your natural thing as a human being is attacking and defending. So to become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking and the context in which these thoughts take place, like really thinking there's something outside of you, is never going to help you. But so you have to bring it back to yourself and take responsibility for it by letting it change inside yourself. And so these texts, like this protection part of the essential chapters, this is the top 10 of Joel Goldsmith. He said that, well, these chapters are essential. These are the most important chapters that every student should hold very dear. And of course, like the protection, like the defense idea is very important to discover for yourself that you're actually doing it, that you're defending yourself against it, against so-called danger outside yourself. And it prevents you from being in a peaceful state of mind. So stop doing that. Let it go. You don't need to do that. There's no danger out there. There's nothing that can attack you or hurt you. But the other way around is that all safety comes from within yourself. That all harmony will come from inside yourself by being in contact with that, by being conscious of it, by allowing yourself to feel that and enjoy that, and by extending it to the ones that you meet, and extending it just in being who you really are. So I hope this is helpful to you. I'm really excited about teaching about this and being say, on this discovery that I can see this in everything that's occurring. Like there's no exception to it either. So it's working all the time. It will always be the same. There's no exception in like situations where you can still attack or do this or do that. That's not the case. So thank you for listening to this and being present with me in this. And I hope to see you on Wednesday when there's a meditation. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining in this. See you soon.